comic book lookers, it's your boy John on Demand, aka the comic book Hugh Heft, coming to you live on the 18th of November, Wednesday night, Comic Book Sabbath, straight November, Wednesday greatness up in here. We're joined by co-CEO Tom Devine. There can only be one Highlander hair for days tonight, I see. Yes, decapitating that competition. That's right. And of course, that was pretty fierce. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
And I'm joined, of course, by special guests, you guys, local 605 artist in the building, and we love our 605 people. But Marc Wagner is in the building tonight joining us, so we're going to be kind of talking some books tonight and learning more about Marc and what he's got in the works for us, too. So with that, Tom, I'm going to let you drive for a second while I do the shares.
Excellent, man. Well, cool. Guys, it's another week. We got new comics. We have another sweet guest right below us. I'm really excited to get into the comics. But before we get into the comics that we talked about, let's introduce you to this actual new guest of ours. So Marc's never been on the show. Like years and years ago, I originally asked him. We tried to work it out. Then me and John stopped doing shows for a little while, and hey, now we're back, and Marc finally said yes. So to start out, I'll say that, Marc, I'm a big fan of your work. You're my favorite comic artist in the 605, tied with Mikey Martinez. I have, as you can see, some original art right behind that I've gotten of yours. And as you guys have probably seen, those green Mount Rushmores around town, that's Marc here as well. And of course, Empire Comics Missing Cat, along with all the SuperCon stuff that you've done. So, you are a local artist, a local legend of Sioux Falls, Marc. So tell us, how did you start to get into art? And tell us how you started to think about doing comics as art.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. I think we started talking about doing this when that Mr. Miracle series first started coming out.
That's right, because you're a good big Kirby guy, and
I got my Kirby poster up there, and
yeah.
Comics and drawing always have gone hand in hand for me. I've never really separated the two.
Yeah.
So I mean, my mom tells a story of me being 4 and. I was in preschool and we had to color an Easter egg, and I turned my Easter egg into a dinosaur and got in a little bit of trouble. So I guess going on 30, so 26 years of drawing. So.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and still breaking those rules. I mean, I feel like you have such a distinct style where you definitely don't follow normal comic book rules. You definitely tell surreal stories, and you have a extremely unique vision and viewpoint for your art. Is that something that you've always had, or is this something that you've developed over time specifically, or just something that happened naturally?
More happened naturally, but over time I kind of learned how to kind of play into it and kind of go at it with intention when necessary, and kind of let the subconscious go when that needs to be used. And those are two things that are interesting to me.
I agree. I mean, I think when I first saw your work, I couldn't imagine that there was an artist like this in Sioux Falls. You just think that this was some Portland or Seattle artist that I follow indie comics pretty hard, and I would assume I'd see something like this at Top Shelf, and then to see that this is the kind of style that someone in South Dakota can put through, it's pretty damn cool, man. I would say, what are your influences? Where did you look to at art growing up, and where do you look to at art for currently?
Calvin and Hobbes was kind of the big thing for me as a kid. I remember my dad actually gave me his of the books, the little collections, and I remember the day it stopped running in the newspaper, just being just super bummed. And then after that, I think was about when I started getting comic books from High V
Nice.
and Lewis when they still did that. And then not too long after that, Rainbow kind of came into my life. I was about 7, maybe.
Oh, wow. So you've been going to Rainbow since you were 7 years old.
On and off. There's some gap years in there for sure, but I have a very vivid memory of going to the downtown library with my dad, and John was there on behalf of Rainbow, and every kid went home with a stack of comics about that big. And that was kind of like, I don't know, got us all hooked.
Dude, that is insane. John, I hope John watches one of these. Every single person we talk to is only affected because of John. John is the reason that we all like comic books. That is fucking wild, man. God damn, dude. Mark, that's such a cool story.
Yeah, he's the starting point for a lot of people, I feel like. I don't know too many people with as much knowledge as him that isn't about like one specific topic. Like if he knew as much as he knows just about superhero comics, that would be understandable, but like he knows the stuff that I like and you, Tom, and you, John, and it doesn't stop there. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and to get people where that would come in is all three of us would read vastly different books, and John knows all of them. And he knows what kind he sees. It only takes you buying weekly comics for a few weeks, and he can kind of already pick up on what kind of reader you are, and then he starts feeding that flame. So that's so cool, John. Mark, that John also had such a effect on you from the Siouxland Library. I still get comics from the library all the time. I mean, Rainbow and the library is the main places I still get comics every week. So that's awesome, man.
For sure. Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, Tom, we got some viewer input here that I wanted to bring to your attention. Maggie writes, Tom, nice hair.
Dang right, Louie. I know you. That's for you, buddy. Woo!
That's amazing.
No, that's good. Good, man. So, Mr. Miracle, influenced by Jack Kirby. What is the last book that is from DC and Marvel? Do you still read superhero comics? Are you buying older superhero comics to look through that art? Or are you, indie guy, a foreign guy? What do you read, Mark?
I still love Kirby books. There's just so many of them. I'm kind of a bit of a superhero fatigue, but I could still read a Kirby book because they're just something special to me. I think it's unlike anything else. I don't really have anything against superhero books. It's just I just needed a break from them.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of back issue diving at Rainbow for the last couple of months.
And what are you looking for?
Charlton horror comics. I want to find looking for horror comics from the 50s through the 70s. More obscure the better, because there's just something about them that are they're kind of really poorly drawn, but in a way that I think is really wonderful. A guy will just have a nose that goes out to here for no reason at all, other than that they had to it was the 4th book they had to draw that week.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then I found there's an imprint called Red Circle. It's actually from Archie.
Yeah.
And they did some horror comics that are really, really good. They're actually legitimately good 70s horror.
Wow. Yeah. No, I didn't. I don't think I've ever. I didn't know that they made horror comics at all. But I mean, I like 70s horror comics. I'm like Corbin, and those guys are like such amazing artists. So yeah, I mean, and such unique styles. I love that stuff too. So that's super dope. Well, sweet, man. So John, you pick up any comic books this week?
I don't know, man. No, I did.
Oh, boy. You better have. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I know I did. And, I'll jump right into one of the books that I'm transitioning right here, Mark, is, we're talking a little bit of scariness. Well, Stillwater number 3. This is from Chip Zdarsky. And old Chip, he said this is ongoing. I just was checking out his Twitter, was seeing if this is going to stop. I didn't know where it's going. It's basically you get to a town and then you live forever if you stay in that town. But the people that live in that town, they don't really like new people, and there's some new people coming in. So we'll see where Chip takes this. And I'm all about giving these guys a chance, seeing something different. It's not a game changer, but at least it's not so far. It's like keeping the sci-fi to one little thing of like you live forever in this town, and then I'd like to see the story around that instead of pumping it with more magic and sci-fi and stuff like that. So it seems to be that's where it's going. Character-driven, personal story. So I think I like it.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, I definitely am taking a swing here. The Sandman reprint number 23. I am so freaking late to this party. Like, I am a huge Marvel junkie, as you can see behind me. I'm a Marvel zombie. I'm guilty. So this for me is going to be just entirely brand new, but I'm excited to check it out. One, from what I've read of the series, it's very becoming. It's very awesome and well written. And then the artwork has never let me down. So I'm really excited just to kind of check it out. And for me, it's something new that's not, the superhero fatigue, I guess. So it'll be a welcome break because the rest of my stuff is definitely superhero related. So I like getting those breaks, and they're trying something new. So definitely excited to get familiar.
Yeah, man. So, John, have you ever read a Sandman graphic novel or anything like that, or seen
some of the singles randomly that I get my little mittens on?
Yeah, I mean that's sick, dude. I mean, of course, Neil Gaiman highly considered one of the greatest comic book series of all time. It's actually not my cup of tea. When I first got into comics, I bought them all because people told me that they were like the best. But I'm not. I think he's pretentious, and I think that Neil Gaiman thinks that he's the best comic book writer, and so in turn, I think he fucking sucks sometimes, and he is too full of himself. But you're right that because he is in this upper echelon of artists, where like if you have him come speak at your college, he charges like $150,000 for like 1 hour, and he is that kind of guy. He gets the best artists in the world, man. So like it is almost always worth checking out, flipping through the Sandman, because he gets like abstract, weird, often artists that are from the fine art world who come into comics. So I agree that like, even though I'm not always a fan of the writing of Sandman, and I think Neil Gaiman's pretentious, dude, all those books look so good, John, like every single one. So worth it.
I don't know, Tom. We got to be careful though, because if he's watching,
we
don't need another creator beef.
Yeah, right. It could be. This could be another We could have another Willingham on our hands here, and we don't want that. All right.
That's behavior on the Rainbow Show. There you go.
We'll see. So we'll take it into creators that have been taken advantage and we'll do Rorschach number 2 here. Like I said, I would never ever buy Watchmen besides Watchmen. I never have, and now I'm picking up this Rorschach. I think it's just been enough time. Maybe I don't have to be bitter for Alan Moore. I can try to enjoy some of these characters that he ripped off anyway from Ditko. So it's like, okay, I'm going to take a shot. I love Tom King Maxi series. Let's see what's going on with this. The first issue, unfortunately, was really, really good. So it did make me want to read it again. And, even though this is Alan Moore's baby and I'm an Alan Moore fanboy, I'm taking the chance. I'm reading it, and so far, dude, I'm definitely enjoying it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
See how it goes. Trying something a little new. I got the first issue of this when it dropped a couple months ago, but definitely interested in this focus on diversity and absolutely love it. But Marvel's Voices, I got issue number 1, but I think it's actually a follow-up to the previous offering that came out. But also, I was very intrigued by the indigenous voices, and not to mention the sweet characters on there. Like Danny Moonstar is my total jam. And not to mention Warpath as well. So that's some classic X-Force right there. Totally geeking out. Looking forward to seeing what these are. And it's not even just like the short stories that are in there. There's at least in the indigenous voices when it looks like it is just short stories back to back. But in the main one, there's actually just some write-ups as well that are available, providing additional like testimonies from creators or just different forms of information in there. So looking forward to just geeking out. I've been way into that stuff lately. So very excited about these two.
Nice. What do you got, Mark? What'd you pick up?
So for today, and I think Tom, you might have gotten this because it was one of the hashtags, but ooh.
Yeah, dude, this thing's looking.
Girl walks home alone at night.
Oh,
yeah, I got a chance to read it too. Whoa. I was so excited.
Yeah,
over.
It everywhere. No.
Woo! I got a chance to read it. And
what did you think?
I thought it was pretty good. It was a quick read. I actually haven't seen the movie that it's based off of. But I'm definitely interested in seeing the movie now. And
it's based on a movie. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the writer of the book is the writer and director of the movie, so it's kind of a perfect situation. It's a horror comic on newsprint in black and white. I can't ask for much more.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna do horror, they know how to produce it. You know.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little book. I'd recommend it. Rainbow had like a 1 per next to it. I don't know if that means they just didn't get very many in, or if it's a speculator thing. But if anyone's watching comes across it, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I see what you mean by quick read too. I mean, they're not taking up time with a bunch of word bubbles at all.
No, it's very spacious and dream. Like read that at like midnight in a quiet house, and I'm sure it'll give you it'll really set the mood.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, look how spacious that really is, guys. I mean, look at it's just like all black, barely white scratches that's sweet, man. I'm glad you picked that up. I had to take a chance. I mean, this cover alone, if somebody is good at design, I will just immediately say, hey, you know what? Whoever put together your production of your book, I'm on board, because I can tell this is an indie book, but they didn't waste of all of this thing. Instead, they just make this super graphic, contrasting image that is, perfect. So I was like, yeah, I'm checking that out just on that cover alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, man. Next up for me, Lumberjanes 75. This is the last issue of Lumberjanes. This is my daughter's favorite book. I guess not. I thought it was the end. It says to be concluded. So I guess I'm getting one more issue of Lumberjanes. So never mind. Second to last issue of Lumberjanes. It's my daughter's favorite book about camp counselors in a sci-fi world, going through different dimensions, having nonstop fun, and like being supportive of each other. It's it's fine.
Cool.
Awesome. Super random from Marvel Comics. I've been talking about this, but Swordmaster issue 12, final issue. So I did have to flip to the back just to make sure. Swordmaster is one of the characters in Marvel from the Far East. So just really representing just a different side of the Marvel U. I am a world builder. I love seeing what's going on in other countries in the Marvel universe. I hope that this would translate into quality cinema, which, yes, it looks like it might be. So I'm kind of excited about that. This series, I haven't read it yet. The final issue, it's been fun. Not as strong as Atlantis Attacks, but a fun supplemental book to learn more about the character at the very least. So I just treat it as a research project, 12 issues long. So looking forward to checking it out. Not something that is like groundbreaking for me or anything like that, but still exciting to see a different aspect of the Marvel U.
Yeah, a quick hot button question. Who wins, Taskmaster or Swordmaster?
Dude, Taskmaster.
Okay. Just...
Except if Taskmaster is wearing the getup from Black Widow, he loses because I think that's a stupid look.
Because it's not the top out, he didn't have orange all over it.
Right, yeah, and it's a ski mask. Like, come on, Hollywood. Really?
We want an orange, weird-looking Taskmaster on our movie screen.
It's not because he doesn't have the skull face. He's just doing that stupid look. Oh, it's so dumb. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Weak. All right. What else? I know you said that Mark, that you had something special. What you busted out?
Oh yeah. So I got a couple things that a lot of the more contemporary, like indie stuff I've been finding is like on Instagram.
Yeah.
And, but I found some stuff that is actually available through Diamond.
Nice.
So if any of this piques anyone's interest, Rainbow can order it in for you. So I'm going to start off with Girl in the World by Caroline Cash. I've never seen a book like this before. Like,
oh yeah,
these are like some crazy like layouts and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a 64-page book. It was $10. Like, I don't know. It's from, I think it's Silver Sprocket is the publisher. But I highly recommend it. It's super fun. Yeah, it's great. It's just about a bunch of 20-somethings just hanging out in Chicago. Like, it's just a regular night, and I'd highly recommend it. I thought it was very refreshing. And
that sounds right up my alley, man. I'll definitely check that out. That's dope as hell. And $10 for 64 pages, guys. Come on. It's like we're paying $5 for barely 20 pages from freaking Marvel. And if issue 50, you get 30 pages for $10.
Yeah. And like it's huge too compared to like,
oh yeah.
I got the Sandman reprint.
There you go. Yeah, I was like,
how are you talking shit to you too, Mark?
Oh, I'm in the middle between you two on Sandman. I don't love all of it, but I do like this one. So
no, I'm just kidding. I know I'm in the minority. I own all of them. I read the entire series. I even bought like the Dream, and then I bought like the Morpheus, and then I bought like Death, his sister, and I'm totally immersed in the world, and at a time I liked it, but after seeing all the interviews from Neil Gaiman, that's really what drove me to be like, who do you think you are? But anyway, that's enough.
You know what needs to happen is we need to approach him about being a guest on our show, and when he hits us with that quote, we'll counter with 10,000 more for him to pay us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay. You're gonna have to go speak at a college to even afford to be on a comic book look. Okay.
Exactly. Go do something good. Yeah.
All right. You know what, Gaiman? You know what? I don't have time right now. I'll give you a call maybe next month if you're lucky. Okay. Bye, Gaiman. Stop bothering me. Engine Ward, number 5. I can't believe I've made it to number 5. I love the artist. He's from Morning Glories. He's like a cool guy. But this book, it's like always on the verge of greatness, and then it does something that makes me want to. It feels like it tries to be Firefly, or it tries to be Babylon 5 or something, and it's like, don't do that. Just be who you are, because the actual like Engine Ward, that's like this person who works on the engine on a spacecraft. Like, that's kind of cool. You got a cool story there. Don't do the other stuff that are cliches for team books, which maybe they will. I'm gonna give it the full run though. I like Vault. I want to support them. I like Joe. I think Eisma. So I'm sticking with it. We'll see how it goes.
Heck yeah. Also on the superhero train, but switching universes.
Hey, sorry, I'm having some audio issues.
Oh, no problem. Okay, all right, can you hear me now?
I'm gonna try my headphones quick.
Okay.
There we go.
Can you
Mark,
hear me now?
can you hear us? We can hear you.
Help.
Can you hear us?
Any luck?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Okay. I can't hear you, though.
Okay. That's not good.
Oh, no. No, it's not good
I'm
at all.
not sure what's going on.
Great. Okay. Well, well, who knows? I mean, that's the fun of live. That's the fun of live internet TV, folks.
Oh, boy.
Maybe just try to, I mean, he can't hear anything I'm saying. I would say try to maybe disconnect and connect again. I would try to say other things. But because of that, I'm going to just keep going.
You keep going, dude.
I'm going to pop out, and then I'll try and pop back in.
All right. And while he does that, I'm going to talk about Dark Interlude. We have another Vault comic as I'm rocking and rolling Vault. This is by Ryan O'Sullivan, illustrator Andrea Muddy, colors Vladimir Popov, and lettering And World Design, or maybe that's And World Design. But this I thought was looked like some kind of 70s fantasy kind of. We get some, naked chicks, which I'm always game for. We get high fantasy, some real weird, fantasy elements. And so, I was like, sure, I've never heard of this. I didn't see a preview for it. I bought it on a whim. It's number one. So we'll see if I like it or not.
Heck yeah. And yeah, so jumping back in here, Batman 103, awesome, pretty cardstock cover. I don't know about the extra $1 that I'm paying for it, so I might just go back to the normal covers just because why not? But they are. I saw this one. I just thought it was very nice looking and just really kind of a cool piece. So if anything, I'm just celebrating the art with my extra $1. But overall, it's been a fun ride so far on the Batman train. I can't say that it's anything like oh my gosh, this is so revolutionary or anything like that. If I were to drop a title right now, it probably would be Batman, and I would keep Detective.
Yeah.
But I'll rock with it for a minute and just see how it goes. I don't know. Like I said, 102, I had the same feeling of, it's kind of a B+ situation. So
that's interesting. We'll, it's interesting that you say that because when I was listening to Wednesday Comics and Marvin just recently kind of said that same thing. He's like, I don't know if Batman's for me, but I definitely know that I'm sticking with Detective Comics for right now. So, maybe that's the way the wind is blowing right now. So, guys, I wish Mark was here. I don't know. He unfortunately has dropped off, but he's back. Can he hear us?
I can hear you now.
Yay. Look at that.
Technology.
The world is saved. All is well. And I'm ready to tell you about my next book, Mark. So the next one I picked up is right here, another Vault Comics, The Devil's Red Bride, issue 2, Sebastian Garner, and then John Bivens. I picked this up. John Bivens was a guest of SuperCon, so I'm supporting my boy Bivens, and I like Vault Comics, so I'll check it out. I actually bought the first one, and I haven't even read it yet, so he's lucky I'm doing the second one with just blind, but I'm hoping it's good enough that there's a reason I'm picking it up.
Absolutely. Rolling on the superhero train, you guys. Choo choo. X of Swords, part 17, 18, and 19, aka X-Force 14, Hellions number 6, Cable number 6. Alphabet freaking soup, you guys. I am loving the X titles. Don't get me wrong, but I also picked up Juggernaut as part of the X-Men treat. That is 4 books in 1 week. So part of me is so excited about this, and part of me is like WTF on behalf of my wallet. There's so much going on. They are cramming a 22-part event in what feels like just over a month.
I was gonna say in a month and 2 months.
Yeah, it is insane, and it is I'm so thankful to be caught up with it because I wasn't a few weeks ago where I had 5 weeks to read up on. But geez Louise, X-Men train, pump your brakes. Your boy's budget could use a break. Let's relax for a second. So it's just a lot right now. It's a lot of fun. These titles are cool. I mean, I can't give them a beer rating, these issues, because I haven't read them yet. But it's been a lot of fun. But speaking of that, I'll just also loop in Juggernaut issue 3. This series has been fun. I actually
Nice.
really liked it. It is completely random. It's a character that his other
Does he
solo
have his own comic book? It's
Well,
ridiculous. He has his own comic book.
It
Well,
is
whatever.
completely ridiculous, but it's actually a fun story so far. So I am appreciating that one. I did have a chance to read this. If I had a chance to, or if I needed to give it a beer rating, it'd be a 4 out of 6 for sure.
Nice.
4 out of 6 beers. So, and Mark, that's our rating system, by the way. We do things in 6-packs. That's our currency. So
Oh, yeah.
the only way we do it, yeah. All the shows in Sioux Falls need to adopt that. So yeah. But truly,
once you trademark it.
oh yeah, it's true.
So, Mark, did you pick up anything else? Any other cool order-ins?
Yeah, I got, this is a new favorite. It's called Goiter. I got this through Diamond as well.
Yeah.
It's almost like a comic on the front. It's Tinto Press. You should be able to still order it. It's, I don't know, if you're a fan of like Dan Klaus, like Ghost World, that kind of thing, I highly recommend it. I'm gonna give it 6 out of 6 beers.
Hell yeah.
But the main story is about a guy who wants to be a screenwriter, but he works at a beach chair rental shack, and then his life just gets worse from there. And then there's a couple shorter stories in the back that are like, it's very funny. Like, I don't laugh out loud at a comic too often, but the humor on this is it's just fantastic. So if you like Dan Klaus or just sort of like a dry humor, I'd recommend it highly. So
Yeah, no, that sounds sweet. I feel like I've heard of that too. So I don't know where. Maybe I saw it somewhere online or something. But that's really cool.
Yeah. This is the first issue that's through Diamond. I actually hit up his Etsy store and got an earlier Goiter as well. So yeah, I think that's the series is just going to keep going up and up.
That's dope.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, John, I'm out of comics. I didn't read any other comics this week because I have been dominating and catching up through Hoopla on Black Hammer. So Black Hammer is like from Jeff Lemire. He does it through Dark Horse, and it's about superheroes that are stuck on this farm. So it like has this real world elements, but it brings it really close. And they all have like, there's a, Martian Manhunter and Amalgam, and a different kind of tropes that they're using throughout for these different characters, which has been done a gajillion times. But Jeff Lemire does it really special. I can tell that this is kind of older Jeff Lemire. I think it first came out maybe 5 years ago, and so that's really fun. It's kind of like right when probably Sweet Tooth was ending, and I'm really, really enjoying it. And so I've seen Black Hammer books, but I didn't pick up like the first one. So every time like there's like From the World of Black Hammer or this is coming out or whatever, I'm always like, oh, this looks awesome. And then I read From the World of Black Hammer. I'm like, oh, I didn't read that, so I probably shouldn't pick this up, which is like the dumbest thing ever. So in turn, now I've like missed years and years and years of good comics, and I've been just burning through them. So I read the first 3 trades this week, and I thought it was absolutely great, and I loved it. And then on another note, I got this book from the library called The Professor's Bride. It's a French translated comic about Imhotep and like the people from Egypt, and they are mummies, and then they like come alive and date the like this Duke of England's daughter. I don't know. It was so bad. It was one of the worst comics I'd read in so long. I love usually like these little kind of just stories that are from other places or from other point of views done by creators I haven't seen. And it was like internationally best-selling, world-renowned comic writer who I'd never heard of. So I should have heard of, I should have been like right there, like not that great. And then turned out like 100% full 1 out of 6 beers. I shouldn't have finished it. And, that's how it goes. I wonder if I think I took a picture of it. But yeah, it wasn't good at all. Here, see, I took a picture of it, so you can see with a thumbs down next to it. But that was the book right there. And it was bad. Yeah, the professor's daughter. Don't read it. So yeah, those are my reviews.
1 out of 6 beers. All right. Last book out of me, you guys, and definitely it's not anything again earth shattering. I am enjoying it, but we'll see. Venom issue 30. It's nice to have a Venom issue 30 and not another issue number 1 every 5 months, like Marvel's been infamously rebooting. So looking forward to seeing what is coming up with the Black King or whatever the event is coming up with the symbiote god on his way to Earth. Things are going to get horrible. It's following up from Absolute Carnage, that event. So we'll see how it goes. Being a Venom fan, it's been fun, but we're also doing that alternate reality hoo-ha right now. So I'm looking forward to let's get back to our main storyline. Let's get back to business. Like enough of the fluff issues because it won't matter in a year anyways. So looking forward to that, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what my review is.
I mean, I can't believe that Venom got to issue 30. Marvel, that seems insane for Marvel to do. Like they do not let Venom get over issue 5, almost ever. So, thank you for not rebooting it. Nobody wanted another Venom 1. So that's good on you, Marvel. But yeah, so Mark, any other comics you want to talk about, or you want to start telling us about this sweet art that you can kind of see throughout the outside of this rim, and everybody's been checking out on your Instagram page and stuff like that?
Yeah, I started working on a new comic about 2 months ago. Kind of basing some of the coloring and the textures off of older comics. So that's why I've been looking for those older Charlton, Archies, and stuff like that. It's about halfway done. I'm shooting for January release.
Excellent.
Yeah. Kind of my elevator pitch for it is it's based around YouTube conspiracy theories, neurons, and a dead cell phone. So, gonna leave a little bit of mystery in there, and how about that all unfolds? But
yeah, well, great. Yeah, I mean that is exactly the kind of comic we would expect from you: a dead cell phone, YouTube conspiracies, and what was the third one?
Neurons, nerve cells.
Okay.
It's gonna have some body horror in there. I spent all of October watching John Carpenter movies, so
hell yeah, man. Hey, I got my Action Boy shirt on. I'm a John Carpenter man here, so yeah, no doubt about it. That's great, dude.
That rules.
That's
awesome. I wanted to get your perspective on each of these. So in the background, you guys, we have actual pages from Mark's upcoming projects. So that was really fun to get to see those and work those in to our background. So Mark, just put me in your shoes for a second. So thinking of one page from the upcoming comic, what does the process look like? How long does it take you to do a full page?
So with this new project, I actually switched up. I have a whole new process for this. I'm doing everything on an iPad.
Okay.
For the first time ever. So what's nice about that is I can kind of bounce around in a way I normally couldn't. So instead of normally just penciling, then inking, then scanning, then coloring, I kind of just do it all at once in chunks. I think on average of doing about a page a week. That's on top of, working full time and doing everything else you got to do. But about a page a week.
That's awesome, man. That's good ass progress. Are you kidding me? That's great.
Yeah, I have about 12 or 13 done, at least almost completely done. I kind of Marvel method myself where I do the dialogue balloons last, just in case something changes along the way in drawing it, especially when it takes 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
But going full digital has sped everything up a lot more. So
Absolutely. No,
Do you
I think
do you miss having the original art at home?
kind of. I still do like thumbnails and like preliminary sketches and stuff like that I'll like take a photo of and then import. I know there are perks to like selling original art, but I get so sentimental of that original art that I'd never end up selling it anyways. So at least like comic pages, I just sell like the drawing that you have, Tom. Thank you so much. And yeah, I am gonna do the cover traditionally.
Awesome.
Just because with the format for printing it, I usually use like a thicker, glossier stock on the cover, and so the coloring technique that I've been doing on this stuff won't work.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to do it traditionally, and that way, if somebody wants to buy the cover, they can. Otherwise, but the process is more about what's going to get me the best looking book, because in the end, that's all that really matters. The reason
That's
I like
all that matters
comics, good. The reason I like comics so much is because it's a medium that's like that anybody can enjoy. Like you have like one painting, or you have 100,000 comics, and like to me, because my last comic sold 100,000 issues. I don't know if you knew that.
Wow, that's surprising. That I mean, I got one, but I mean, that's still surprising.
No. That's the appeal of it to me is the actual comic. So what I try to do is make the best product possible. So
yeah, man. Well, you do great work. There's no doubt about it. You're one of a kind artist. The 605 is super happy to or super lucky to have you around here. And then every once in a while, if we ever get to see live music again, you are also in a band. I've seen you play. You play hard. You're just dominating. So yeah, it's always been fun seeing you at Total Drag, and we hope to, hopefully get to do that again at some point in the next few years. And but other than that, Mark, definitely really excited that you came on our show tonight, and we really appreciate it. Holding it down, doing original art in South Dakota. It's really cool.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to celebrate your artwork too, and I have my little cover here for Super Squad. So love it. It's on my spinner rack front and center because I love local as well. So thank you for your contributions to our scene.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for using your platform to help celebrate not just local art, but comics in general. I think it's such a niche little group. Like when it just comes to people that read comics in general, that like the fact that we can have just such a wide variety of comics readers come together and kind of just talk about that is really special. So thank you so much for having this platform.
Absolutely. And then the other thing too, you mentioned that it is coming up, in January, if everything goes well for you. So where will readers be able to purchase that? Do you have that planned?
Yeah, I have a web store that I normally I'll like throw things on, and then I actually found more missing cats a couple weeks ago, and I threw those up and I sold them all.
Cool.
I saw that. Nice work.
Yeah, thanks. So I'll have that up, and then of course, I'll talk to the guys at Rainbow, Total Drag. I'll try and get them to as many local businesses as I can, because I do miss being able to buy comics at just anywhere.
Yeah.
As much as I love Rainbow, I wouldn't change that for the world. There's just something that I just remember going to Hy-Vee and there being a short box of the most random stuff I've ever seen. So and I think Empire does a pretty good job of that in terms of distribution.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. My first comics I got from Wall Drug. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Exciting.
dude. Yeah, but once again, appreciate you having on, John. Your comics that you picked up again, awesome as always. Always love to hear all those
Hopefully.
books.
Hopefully.
I mean, hey man, you're keeping. It's like I read them through you reading them, even though I don't read them. I still get to get a part of them and hear what's coming out from what you're doing. I do appreciate that, man. And definitely, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching this through Rainbow's page or through a comic book look, Facebook, we appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube later, we appreciate you. But whatever, man, we'll be here every Wednesday. We got more cool guests lined up from the South Dakota. John has added me to a couple group messages today. We got some sweet guests coming up. So I'm super excited for that. But anyway, John, thanks for dominating the show. Mark, thanks for being on. And Johnny, shut us down if you don't got anything.
Shut us down. You betcha. So you guys, as always, from Rainbow Comics, if you're in Sioux Falls, say howdy at 42nd in Minnesota. And of course, if you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, stop by and say hi too. There's a great crew down there. Happily sponsored by Rainbow Comics, of course. So thank you to Dave El Presidente for putting up with Tom and I. You guys know the drill. Is always a very, very good week to all of you. I hope that we have a great holiday season coming up. And you guys know the drill. As always, keep it comics for sure, man. Boom. And then we have the awkward period where